Okay, lovelies. I hope you've spent and invested a bit of time in just completing your own table. Now, I've literally just done one row on a new topic, just again to double up on giving you an example of the sort of things we would like to see. Okay, so we all have a moral duty to address the plastic pollution problem. There's my argument for, because plastic pollution is harming sea life, we must do something to turn the tide. See what I did there? A little bit of a metaphor, a little bit of a pun towards the end there to turn the tide, linking into plastic pollution. I know, quite clever, but there's my statement. Then I did a bit of research. Plastic waste kills up to 1 million creatures a year. There's my fact. And my argument, my but moment, but single-use plastics is in so many products, where would we start? So we are planning. This is all that process of invention. So because I've given you more time to do that, again, the next task I'm just going to show you, and then that's it for today, because I would like to then just encourage you to really use the time available to you today to make sure that you're making good planning decisions, that you've invested time in research, and that you're really happy with your chosen topic, so that when we actually begin the process of the plan of the development of paragraph ideas and how we develop a whole argument, you will have enough material to use. So you've got that table done. Brilliant. You've chosen your topic. You've got your fors and against. You've done a little bit of research. So the final thing I'd like you to do, again, just to check, okay, that you are going to have a strong intent, a strong intention, okay? So just completing this last little bit of planning. So it says here, we all have a moral duty too. Now, again, the reason I keep getting you to write that out is so it's really fixed in your head what you're actually going to be persuading people to do. So we have a moral duty to end child labour. We have a moral duty to tackle plastic pollution. We have a moral duty to eliminate homelessness. We have a moral duty too. So you've all got your own ideas now, which is brilliant. There's going to be some lovely variety. And if at this point you are like, I really don't know what to do, just go back and do the child labour topic, okay? If it didn't work, your own research, if you were trying to find your own topic but couldn't quite get your head around it, after today, you can always fall back on the child labour one. So we've got your topics, facts and quotations from great figures. Now, the planning table did include facts and arguments, but there wasn't anywhere within that planning table, and it might have included quotations from great figures, people that kind of like spokespeople for your area. So you can tick that one off. So the last thing really is just to think about the pathos and the ethos. So we did a similar thing for the child labour, but now you are adapting it. Remember, this is you being autonomous and a little bit more in control to suit your new topic. So I've landed on plastic pollution. So over here, pathos, what emotional appeal am I going for? So I'm going to come up with at least 2 key emotions I want to create in my audience. And I'm going to come up with 5 emotive vocab choices. So 5 words or phrases I'm going to use to play on those emotions. So what do I want people to feel? Okay, if I want people to agree with me, if I want people to be on my side, I want them to feel concern. I want them to feel concern and anxiety, maybe, and a little bit worry, because I want to use that worry and concern to push them into doing something. So I might say key emotions, I want them to feel worried and concerned. Now, I would always say sometimes for me, I would try and balance a negative with a positive. So if I want them to feel worried and concerned, but I still want to at some point in my speech, now remember this is all planning, so I'm thinking ahead, I've got the big picture in mind. I do want to take them from a place of maybe worry and concern to feeling hopeful or empowered, like they can actually do something to make a difference. So my key emotions, so I would write down number 1, concern and worry, or concern and anxiety. Number 2, changing that to hope and feeling that they can do something. Okay, so what emotive vocab choices could I already begin to make a note of that I could use? Okay, so we could talk about plastic pollution. So we could talk about that lovely sea metaphor, turning the tide. We are drowning in pollution. We are suffocating under the weight of plastic. Innocent animals are meeting a painful and early death through suffocation. So I've got more than 5 there, but that would be my emotive vocab choices that would definitely create a sense of anxiety, a sense of concern for these animals. But I want to balance that out. So we can do something. So we could talk about, but we can hold back the tide, We can hold back the force of plastic pollution. We can make a Herculean effort, to stop the rising amounts of pollution. We can fight back. We can take action. So these are all those kind of word choices that would create the feeling of hope. Okay, so that's me. I've thought about my pathos. Now, finally, ethos. What face do I need to present? So remember, we said the ethos is all about convincing people you're a good person, that you're knowledgeable, that you're trustworthy, and that you genuinely care. So I've just said here, plan a sentence that meets 2 of that criteria at least. Now, we did talk about under some of the other techniques, this idea of anecdote, telling a personal story. Now, an anecdote could be a really good opening sentence that shows you genuinely care and that you're a good person. So I could begin with something like, this weekend, as I walked across the beach at Freething, I came across a small creature, trying to think what sort of creature I might come across at Freething. I came across a small jellyfish trapped in a plastic bag. I gently unwrapped the plastic and freed the jellyfish, releasing it back into the oceans. And although I'd only done one thing, I felt that it was time to do more to deal with plastic pollution. So actually, that's quite a long sentence, but it's that anecdotal sentence. I'm showing I'm a good person. I've just rescued a jellyfish. I show that I genuinely care. So I've kind of hit those 2 criteria in a sentence. Now, I could go the other way. I could go for the knowledgeable, trustworthy approach, and I could fake it. I could do something, as a marine biologist, I have worked with sea life ever since my graduation. As an expert who advises the National Marine Aquarium in Plymouth, one of the things I've been increasingly aware of and desperate to do something about is the rising tide of plastic pollution. Guys, I'm loving my rising tide metaphor. I don't seem to want to leave that one behind. But then I was showing I was knowledgeable and trustworthy because I'm a professor of marine biology. So your planning sentence that meets 2 of those criteria doesn't necessarily have to be truthful. You can say, I am, at this stage anyway, I am a 42-year-old teacher in a local community college. I am passionately concerned about the rising tide of plastic pollution and what we can do to stem the flow. So there you go. So that was a bit more truthful. So I'm not faking being a marine biologist. I'm just a teacher that wants to change the world. So guys, your final bit for today is use the time to complete your plan. Okay, so your invention stage. So you've got this way of presenting your idea, so you can tick off logos, you can remind yourself of the emotions you're going to be trying to achieve, and 5 emotive vocab choices, and a sentence that meets 2 of the criteria at least, showing you're a good person, knowledgeable, trustworthy, and that you genuinely care. You are going to have your complete table, and you are going to know what your thesis, your idea is, what you're going to be writing about, and your reasons for and against. So lovely people, choose a topic that you are actually genuinely interested in. It will make all the difference. Okay, and if you're going down a particular route of a topic and you're finding it really hard to find the research or the facts, do yourself a favor, put a line under that now and choose something else. And thirdly, but not last but not least, if you are really stuck and you're feeling really stressed by this, don't just do the child labour one. Work with me as we work through the next lessons and just come along and make yours and become an advocate for why we should end child labour. Okay, bye.